Now serving Fridays with a heaping helping of awesome. I'm Carl Lazus for CNN 10. We have a full plate of news for you this December 1st, and we're starting with the weather. The 2017 Atlantic hurricane season is officially over. These storms can form at any time, but the window of when they're most likely expired yesterday. It was an unusual season in several ways. One, it might have been the most expensive for the U.S. Hurricanes Harvey, Irma, Maria, and Nate combined likely caused hundreds of billions of dollars in damage on American soil. The U.S. government's official cost assessment comes out later this year. There are other records, though. A weather analytics firm says Hurricane Harvey brought more than 4 feet of rain to some places, the most ever recorded from a single storm in the continental U.S. The slow-moving system dropped an estimated 27 trillion gallons of water over Texas and Louisiana when it hit in late August. And Hurricane Maria, which hit Puerto Rico on September 20th, might have caused the largest blackout in U.S. history. That's according to an economic research firm. Nearly 40% of the island still doesn't have electricity. But though this year's season spawned an above-average number of storms, it did not set a record for busiest Atlantic hurricane season. The year for that was 2005, which had 28 named storms and 15 hurricanes. This year had 17 named storms and 10 hurricanes. 10-second trivia. Which of these world capitals is located the farthest north? Washington, D.C., Athens, Greece, Beijing, China, or Tokyo, Japan? Of these options, Beijing edges out the other capitals at a latitude of almost 40 degrees north. And while the Chinese capital has grown to become an industrial powerhouse, it's struggled with a side effect of that: air pollution. Dangerous smog is a visible problem in and around Beijing. A few years ago, the communist nation declared a war on pollution. It has occasionally banned high-polluting cars and trucks from driving. It's put a hold on winter construction projects to try to improve air quality. Winter is usually the time of highest pollution because the country burns coal to keep heaters powered up. The country set a goal for Beijing and the cities around it to reduce air pollutants by 25% by the year's end. But the measures to help air quality have hurt the economy. Businesses like glass factories have lost sales as they've had to upgrade to cleaner equipment. China's annual economic growth was more than 10% in 2010. It's now below 7%. At times, the government has relaxed the rules to protect jobs. Analysts say it's trying to find the balance between keeping the economy growing while keeping pollutants from growing. There's a growing number of tools that can help.
Unfortunately, these are the scenes that have become synonymous with the Chinese city.
More than 7.4 billion. The U.S. Census estimates that's the global population. And as that number increases, so does deforestation, the clearing of forests to expand farmland or building sites. The good news, according to the United Nations, is that the pace of deforestation has slowed down in recent decades, thanks in part to government protections and better management. There are also efforts like England's EDID project that aim to get people's attention about issues like deforestation. The attraction costs about $30 to $35 to enter, and while some critics have said it's not worth that, the project, like the plants inside, is growing.
We're not like any other greenhouse or plant collection in the world. It's a project that sets out to connect people with plants because it's viewed that people have very little connection with plants throughout most of their lives.
If Eden has one particular skill, it's about storytelling, and it's bringing to life stories that are quite difficult to understand and can be quite dry. We're working on 7 or 8 active sites at the moment. We hope to have a site on at least every inhabited continent of the world, because it's all very well having reached 18, 19 million people here, but actually if your mission is connecting people to the living world, you can only really do that on a global scale. We've got 3 sites going in China. The principal one is in Qingdao. We're hoping to open basically in August 2020.
It specifically happened in Cornwall because Cornwall was ripe for improvements. There was quite a bit of poverty, quite a bit of land available for use, and a tourist industry that perhaps was not doing as well as it could have. So there was a fantastic opportunity to reclaim it and turn it into a showcase for plants.
The Qingdao site is at the end of its useful life, so it's been used for prawn breeding, it's had salt panning there, so it's got a real need to regenerate that site. Eden doesn't do small, as you can see around us. We are an ambitious organisation, and we think that actually we can create a sisterhood, a federation if you like, of projects that share some of the content, but they each have their unique components.
It's incredible that many people will go through their whole lives right next to plants and have no knowledge about them at all.
If we can demonstrate our connection better to people, it will become much easier to deal with big significant issues like water, like climate change and air pollution. It would be great to believe that actually our mission had succeeded, we connected people to the natural world and we weren't needed. But I think we're a little way off that.
Enterprise Middle School in Enterprise, Mississippi had an uninvited guest the other day, and he didn't even have a hall pass. A deer apparently got startled and bolted for the nearest building. Surveillance cameras caught him slipping and sliding down the hall, and the quick feet of students to get out of the way. He ran through 2 separate buildings before finding his way back to the woods. The principals say this is the first time this has happened. But what a great lesson in both drama and life science. It's too bad he was so focused on phys ed. Crowded hallways may feel like a cattle drive, but what better place than a school to study music deery, learn about digital arts, or practice deer leading? Even for deer, staying in school is the answer. I'm Carl Azuz, CNN 10 hopes you have an awesome weekend.